Not often I disagree with my friend Ann Coulter, but I think we disagree on this issue involving Syria and obviously the ratcheting up of the rhetoric as it relates to North Korea. But she always writes provocative, smart columns, and she writes, "War is like crack for presidents. It confers instant gravitas, capitulating them to respectability, bypassing all station stops, and they get to make macho pronouncements on a topic where every utterance is seen as August." Anyway, she joins us now. How are you?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Look, here's my take. I know his tweet that everybody referred to, see, he's changed his mind, but I don't want a rigid ideologue as president. I want somebody that thinks through the different evolving situations. For example, like I love the fact that Trump hit it off with the president of China, and as a result, China's renegotiating trade deals, and China's also working to a resolution with North Korea. What is America? I know we can't be the world's policeman, but it is in keeping with Trump, and that is that we're going to defeat terrorism, that we're not going to put boots on the ground, that we're not looking to occupy.
Right.
And I think the message that was sent is that's a line. You can't kill innocent children with chemical weapons. So it didn't bother me at all, but it seems to bother you.
Well, I'm glad Trump pulled back from his Dr. Strangelove generals who want to send ground troops. That McMaster is out of his mind. But, I mean, I just say whether I'm right or you're right on Syria, I mean, I think we're bombing the guy who's protecting Christians. It could very well be a false flag because he's winning the civil war and so on and so forth. And Assad is one of the, I mean, look at that region of the world. He's one of the better rulers over there. But whether I'm right or you're right on that, let me just say this isn't what Trump campaigned on. And yes, you're not going to be a rigid ideologue, but we have been betrayed in this exact same way so many times. Let's flash back to 2014 when now Senate Leader Mitch McConnell campaigned on give us a Republican Senate and we will block Obama's executive amnesty. This is unconstitutional. We didn't vote on it. Obama himself said it was unconstitutional. All the Republicans, and in close races they used it. Democrats would not defend that unconstitutional dreamers amnesty because they'd be killed. They'd be killed in elections. That's what Republicans ran on. And we gave them a majority, a huge majority in the House and the Senate. Did they block Obama's executive amnesty? Why, no, they did not. But they did meet with Netanyahu.
Well, listen, you and I agree. I mean,
thinking that's not what we asked for our anniversary gift. We didn't want a trip to NASCAR. We wanted a trip to Paris. And to be getting the same stuff from Republicans, what set Trump apart? And he has backed away from, I mean, it is just this one bombing, so even if it was foolhardy, we're not apparently at this time sending ground troops. But Republicans, I mean, what was so great about Trump was that he was an all-new Republican. It wasn't the same old, and I agree with many of these policies, by the way, but you know, pro-life, tax cuts, constant military interventions. I'm as pro-life as they come. What have Republicans given us on that? That meanwhile, Democrats are secretly changing the country through immigration so that we'll end up never being able to elect another Republican. Trump will be the last one. We'll have 9 Ruth Bader Ginsburgs on the Supreme Court. We'll never do anything about abortion. That's why immigration is the biggest issue, and I really would prefer to have the president talking about a dangerous regime on our border and not various, and his generals mostly talking, and you know, military war strategist Nikki Haley talking about war with Russia, North Korea, and Syria. Could we get back to America?
Listen, there's nothing you're saying here that I disagree with. I mean, no boots on the ground, no occupations. I think drawing a line in the sand on chemical weapons, that there's a price to pay, that's a morally right thing to do. Can we do it every time? No. Now, as it relates to saber rattling in North Korea and them having ICBMs, it is a scary scenario when you have a mentally unbalanced human being in charge of a nuclear arsenal that is desperately seeking intercontinental ballistic missile capability. So his nukes can make it to the shores of America. What do you do about that?
Well, for one thing, remind everyone that this problem entirely arose because of Bill Clinton and that Peace in Our Time deal made by Madeleine Albright, giving the North Koreans what they needed to build nukes. Once a country has nukes, nukes. We're in a pickle. It's quite a difficult situation. Obviously, we can't go to war with them because they do have nukes. I do think the situation is different from the Dr. Strangelove era in the sense that there is no Soviet Union anymore. I mean, when Reagan came to power, it had just been one country after another falling to communism. You couldn't make a Red Dawn-style movie today. That isn't our concern. Today's enemy is Islamic terrorism. And frankly, I think we could work with Russia on that. They've been fighting these Islamic loonies for, thousands of years. So, you don't have to love Russia. We didn't love Russia in World War II when we allied with Stalin to defeat Hitler. There's a bigger enemy these days. And as for, I'm tying this back to North Korea, so what? It's a rotten country. South Korea has to worry about that. And I promise you, South Korea does not want us attacking North Korea because they will instantly launch a nuke on
There'll be 20 million dead people.
Yes.
But one of the things, like the way the media reported that Trump didn't label China a currency manipulator, what they're forgetting here is the president of China met with Trump. He was supposed to have 2 half-hour meetings that went on for over 6 hours. Number 2, they hit it off. Number 3, the president agreed to trade negotiations and concessions. And number 4, he's helping America deal with its North Korea problem and that part of the world. So, that's a little nuance that the average liberal media hate Trump, personality on TV doesn't seem to understand. That I like. That to me is the art of the deal.
Well, I'd make one little correction to that. I think North Korea is a much bigger problem for China. I mean, I thought it was weird when Trump tweeted out, if China won't deal with North Korea, we will act. Why doesn't China say, and if America won't deal with Mexico, we will act? I mean, North Korea is right on their border. They have illegal aliens coming across from North Korea. Frankly, North Korea is their problem. Yeah, we can help. He's crazy.
I don't disagree. But the Chinese president did send back North Korean coal and took in American coal.
No, okay, there's some trades, but they are engaging in currency manipulation, and Trump did campaign on it, so I'm not wild about that. But look, as long as I can still use the pool at Mar-a-Lago and he builds the wall and deports illegals, I'll be fine.
Have you used the pool at Mar-a-Lago? I've not used I didn't know there was a pool down there, and that's how little I know about Mar-a-Lago.
Right on the beach, it's beautiful.
Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Well, you live in paradise, or, you've been to paradise a number of times, so. All right, let me ask this question. So the left is still unhinged. You see the media attacking him every day. We saw over last weekend, Sarah Silverman telling Trump, show us your blanking taxes, and then you've got, a whole tax day montage. Here, listen to some of this.
It's also kind of all we have. So show us your taxes, you emotional child. You like being a superficial bully? Here's one for you. You are a 3 at best. Thank you.
Have even tried to convince us that we're not really interested in seeing the documents. Do you want to see his taxes? Do you want to see his taxes? Do you want to see his taxes? Mr. President, what you are putting forth is alternate facts.
Get up! Get down! We show our taxes in this town! Get up! Get down! We show our taxes in this town! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! 1, 2, 3, 4! Chicken diet, let's go! 1, 2, 3, 4! Chicken diet, let's go!
We must say that Trump's taxes is where we start today, but we will not end there. All our rights must be protected, and who the hell do you think you are to hide anything and to treat us as though we are less than human? This is not our right. You work for us, Donald Trump. And the people, united, will never be defeated.
Let me tell you. Now, first up, what's the big deal about my taxes? Okay, since you guys are my supporters, I'm going to share with you what's on my taxes. Because this is between us, okay? Don't let the protesters know what I'm going to tell you. So what? I owe $50 million to Deutsche Bank? Who cares? Who cares? That's publicly known. I told Jared to shred my taxes. But I thought shred was Yiddish for Cole.
And to our detractors that insist that this march will never add up to anything, you. But this is the hallmark of revolution. Yes, I'm angry. Yes, I am outraged. Yes, I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House. I am a nasty woman. I'm nasty, like my blood stains on my bed sheets. We don't actually choose if and when to have our periods. Believe me, if we could, some of us would. We don't like throwing away our favorite pairs of underpants. Tell me, why are tampons and pads still taxed when Viagra and Rogaine are not? Is your erection really more than protecting the sacred, messy part of my womanhood? Is the bloodstain on my jeans more embarrassing than the thinning of your hair?
All right, the left goes ballistic. Ann Coulter responds on the other side. All right, Ann Coulter continues with us, author of the best-selling book, In Trump We Trust, E Pluribus Awesome. What do you make of the vitriol that we just played for you?
Well, for one thing, I'm really looking forward to my speech at Berkeley next week.
Wow, this is gonna. We ought to go out and cover Ann Coulter at Berkeley.
Yes, you should. I think I could use some backup. I sort of feel sorry for the administrators and, you know, the smart liberal students, because, you know, they'd like to be able to let me speak. We're working together to try to make it happen, but in these institutions of higher learning, that may not be possible. We'll see. What's strange about it to me is, I mean, Sarah Silverman is historically really, really funny. She's a funny actress, but none of this is funny. I mean, all this late night TV, there seems to be an endless supply of just Trump sucks. That's it. They want to hear that over and over again. It's like watching a pep rally. Our team's great. Their team sucks. And the audience is just thrilled. That's all they want to hear. There's no logic. There's no humor. There's no wit. It's just Trump sucks. And they never tire of hearing it. Now they have to start recycling the tax. I can't believe we're back to the tax returns. That's just magnificent. I tweeted out last week, okay, they tried Russia. They've moved on to taxes. If this doesn't work, they're going to go back to that Hollywood access tape.
Well, I mean, look, it's just, listen to Ashley Judd and Ashley and Madonna. I mean, but there's a certain level of unhingedness here that I don't think I've ever seen before.
Well, it's not so much, I mean, we've probably seen this level of unhingedness, but usually it's just a little, you know, it pops out and then goes away. This is nonstop. I mean, I've mostly read about this. I don't watch the late night shows. But all of these shows, it's just one after another. No humor, no clever punchlines, just a long string of epithets that are difficult to say about, you know, Trump being the orange-haired dumpster fire. And the crowd, like trained seals, are applauding wildly. And then the next show comes on, and it's the exact same thing. Our team's great. Trump sucks. It's just, it goes on and on and on. Is this going to go on for 4 years?
Yeah, I think it is, actually. I don't think it's going to stop. I don't think it stops at all. I mean, I just can't believe some of these people. Look, some are not smart, but Sarah Silverman isn't stupid, but I can't believe she's being so hacky. Oh, and I don't know if you saw this over the weekend. I've been seeing it replayed on Saturday Night Live, where they think it's just hilarious. Their cold open sketch is Trump doing an apprentice vote, which wins for, I thought it was going to be the hackiest line of 2016. I think it's going to be the hackiest line of 2017, 18, and 19 now. Oh, that's so clever. He's picking his staff like in The Apprentice. There's a certain amount of... What do you make of the infighting, the so-called left liberal coalition versus the Bannon coalition in the White House?
Well, I have no idea whether it's true. I tend not to believe the media, the fake news. But from reading about what the various generals were saying about our interventions, I think I'd like Bannon back on the Security Council. And I do think we've hit our limit on the number of Goldman Sachs employees we need in the Trump White House at this point. In fact, I'd like to see a lot fewer. I mean, one of the many wonderful things about Donald Trump was, and it's never going to happen again, we have a president who was elected with zero support from Wall Street. 99% of Wall Street's donations went to Hillary, and that remaining 1% did not go to Donald Trump. We finally had a president Wall Street had no control over, the big donors, no control over, the idiot establishment Republicans, no control over. They hysterically opposed this guy. So yeah, some of us are a little worried that an awful lot of this administration seems to be turned over to establishment Republicans on Wall Street.
Well, they better, if he keeps his promises, he wins. If he lets other people, change his views, then I think what got him elected, people are going to be frustrated. And Coulter, always love having you. E pluribus awesome. And Trump we trust. Thanks for being with us.
Good to talk to you, Sean. Bye-bye.